Hello, my name is Raymond Karchevsky, and I am a living Christ. The subject that I have to share with you today is the meek shall inherit the earth when divine anarchy rules the land. This is a simple story about a simple man of truth, a sovereign Son of God, a creation of divine intelligence, possessed of the simple wisdom of truth. It is a story of a man guided by truth, God's law. It is the story of a man who presently lives in civilized society, the society that we all share in. It is an organized conundrum, is it not? A third-party, psychological, satanically created matrix, which inserts itself into and interferes with all two-party relationships. Such organized conundrum begins and ends in satanic, dualistic, opposing thought. Thought is the means upon which the created divisions amongst men are necessary to create hell on earth. It is a state of consciousness which could not exist otherwise. If one removes thought from the equation of relationships and the conflict of opposite that it engenders, and the hell that is wrought upon the earth would vanish in an eternal instant. It is in such timeless, eternal moments of now that the two become as one. The oneness manifests in body, mind, and soul, and that ensures the peace of non-duality which exists among men. About now, most of you are asking yourselves, what the hell is he talking about? It's a typical dualistic question, is it not? Am I not using thought to communicate this message with you? Agreed, I am, indeed. Then I must ask the question of you, so what? You see, when man was created in God, in Christ's consciousness, the oneness of being, the consciousness of simple, non-dualistic truth, language was learned, a learned process required for the resolution of technical problem solving and the communication with other men, other intellects. And man had made a pact through his own consent with the satanic intellect, where he had given up his own grace of direct perception of non-dualistic truth observed, and had fallen from that state of direct consciousness, direct at one-ment with the truth unfolding in the eternal moment, and had taken up position of an after-moment-based, dualistic, opposing intellect, the realm of Satan itself. The question that arose, it must arise in each of your consciousness. Which came first? Man, the master of his mind, a Christ? Or mind, the satanic master of man, the compromised minion who became a slave to thought? Clearly, civilized man has sold his birthright as a Christ for a mess of worldly pottage. I will not conclude the obvious to you, for should I do so, I would be falling into the satanic trap of becoming a conditioner of your own intellect, directing you to live according to a third-party satanic interfacing, which prevents simple relationships from occurring where two may live as one in understanding. You must see the truth for yourself. No one can give it to you. They can lead you to it through thought, but at the moment of insight, thought must end and direct perception begin. That is the entering into the non-dualistic subconscious mind, which observes everything and is the creating realm within each of us in our consciousness. Such simple relationships of the meek and the meek can never be as one as long as the third-party satanic interloper inserts itself into the relationship as master over one of the two or both parties through their free will consent. Satan must be invited into one's consciousness. Once invited, a contract is struck. Such contract is seen with organizations, satanic organizations, such as government and religions. These are the satanic minions which rule the intellect and thus rule the civilized world. Is anyone seeing the emergence of a civilized society yet? You may say that what I am saying is gibberish, but what would the world of man be without the civilized matrix of thought rolling over the satanic power-oriented relationships of man? It would only be too delighted to say that it would be heaven on earth. Impossible, you say. A simple man of truth would not be able to penetrate the barriers of the intellect if one were to deny one's own existence, one's own non-dualistic essence of truth that is the basis for one's life, one's consciousness. That has been lost based on the pressure of satanic influence upon the intellect. That is what is the result of hell on earth that we all experience and feel victimized by. Now I, this living Christ, am the master of my mind and my mind only. I do not concern myself over mastery of others and their minds. Therefore I am not bound through consent or contract to serve Satan, the petty god of intellect, and his minions, the judges, the politicians, the leaders, the corporate leaders, and the secular leaders of our time, that we all, in our dualistic consciousness, set up on a pedestal, seeing them as greater than we, and thus we capitulate to their thought process. That is the source of the pain and suffering, the anguish experienced by all who live in their intellects and do not understand who they truly are. Now I, this living Christ, have a life that is simple, oh so simple, but it appears complicated to the complex-oriented intellect that has to expand on that which it does not understand. I do not lie, cheat, steal, exploit, or initiate harm to another, as those are all dualistic endeavors tied to the outcome of satanic thought, which is manifested in man's law. Therefore, I have no need to follow satanic thought, man's law, in order to rule over my behavior. I resonate at one and am guided by non-dualistic truth, which is God's law. It is folly for one to take such admission as a sign of weakness. Many have learned the lesson that it is not only not nice to fool Mother Nature, but it is even more disastrous to screw with a Christ. I have stood up to man's courts, and they have spat me out of their system, their satanic system, for they did not like the taste of truth. You may read about it on my website, links contained in arkenterprises.com in the political section, the spiritual section, and the court sections. It is all there for all to see, yet one must possess the spiritual eyes to grasp it, spiritual ears to hear the truth resonate within them. But most are dead. They are the living dead, for they live a second-hand life based on ideas, based on their memory banks, and they live in the past and repeat the past into the present moment, keeping them trapped within their own intellect, their own self-created hell. For the last 19 years, on the internet, I have demonstrated how a simple man of truth, a man of Christ consciousness, can live amid the treachery and debasement of a society ruled by satanic intellect, which has been foisted and reinforced upon the unaware by minions who have satisfied themselves with the lesser perks of material acquisitive consciousness. I have proven to be anathema to such cowardly, anonymous, satanic minions whose illusory power lies and is fortified only in the darkened consciousness of blind believers. I am the man of tomorrow, even though I am here with you today, in this eternal moment of now. You do not yet recognize your true selves as being Christ's, as you suffer from amnesia, but you certainly understand why the fur flies when you meet the Christ without amnesia. My very being resonates with the oneness of truth, which boycotts all that is not truth. Life becomes very simple very responsible. Resist, not evil. Boycott it. It is effortless. And there is not a damn thing that the satanic authorities can do about it. For without your consent, they have no power over you. You have been party and instrumental to your own self-enslavement, and only you are the one that can free yourself from it. That is the creed of a spiritual anarchist, a Christ. That is the creed of a free man. That is what the satanic elitists are deathly afraid of. Free men and women who understand the simple wisdom of divine anarchy. The slogan, the cry of the people who desire freedom in their lifetime must be boycott, boycott, boycott the forces which enslave them, and the meek shall inherit the earth. Thank you for your time.